Good morning and welcome to the Killik market update. We've been looking ahead to the US presidential election in November, and at the moment Joe Biden is the favourite to win. Here we've got the current gambling odds, and in decimal terms, the lower the number, the more likely that candidate is to win the election. So as you can see, Joe Biden is currently quite far ahead. Clearly a lot could change between now and November, but there certainly has been some concern about how the current government has handled this pandemic, and that clearly has impacted the feelings of voters in the US. So what would a Biden presidency look like? Well, we know that he's a big fan of clean power, and therefore he could be good for renewable power companies and bad for fossil fuel companies. We also know that he wasn't really a fan of those big corporate tax cuts that Trump imposed, and therefore there's a possibility that those could be reversed to some extent. There's also the question of who you would choose to be his vice president, and we know that Elizabeth Warren is possibly in the running here, and she is a big fan of stricter regulation for big tech. If there is a change in the US president, that could really have a significant impact on certain areas of the market, so we'll be watching this presidential race really closely for the next few months. Some side effects of this lockdown have been more people working from home, more people gaming online, and more digital payments. But sadly, this has also meant a big increase in the volume of cyber attacks that we have been experiencing. A recent article in Forbes suggested there had been a 667% increase in the volume of email phishing attempts during lockdown. More cyber attacks mean more need for cybersecurity, and it's expected that the market for cybersecurity will grow by 50% between now and 2026. It's already grown quite a lot over the last few years. Here's a chart showing the performance of the iSpy Cybersecurity ETF, which basically tracks the performance of a basket of companies that are actively involved in cybersecurity technology and services. And as you can see, this ETF is up by over 150% over the last 5 years. Please do give your investment manager a call if you would like to hear more about our thoughts on cybersecurity and about this ETF in particular. And finally, this week, China has passed a bill that imposes a national security law on Hong Kong. The full content of the law is really not yet clear, but it has allowed Beijing to arrest various pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong. Since the law was passed, the US has announced that it no longer considers Hong Kong to be independent from China, and the US has now withdrawn some special privileges that it previously afforded to Hong Kong. China's latest move is likely to further increase tensions between China and the rest of the world. Moving on to have a look at next week, the corporate calendar is looking fairly quiet in terms of companies reporting, but we have got results out from Delta Airlines. That's it from us. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday.